Hello, I'm Jennifer, aka JKB of the Lunar Soapery. Thank you so much for selecting me as a winner in the Splash Swirl Challenge. This was such a fun challenge. I really enjoyed every minute of it, and I can't wait to start the next challenge. Thank you for creating Project Soapway for all of us soapers. It has really helped me and everyone else to try different things that we wouldn't have necessarily thought of, like a 6-accent color splash swirl.
So after yesterday's video, I was editing and I realized that while the, numbers on the thing for the audio, they weren't really popping very high. And so I was really concerned about it. So the microphone was right next to my face, that whole time. Like I had to have it right next to my mouth. I learned when editing it that I was so loud, like so loud. And so I had to dial everything like super duper low, like negative 29 dB, whatever that means. I don't actually know. But as a result, I thought I would try this time just kind of casually holding the microphone, down. So it's close-ish. It's like close adjacent to my mouth to see if that helps. But just know that while it may look like I've put it on a mic stand or something, I have not. I am still awkwardly holding something that needs to be on a mic stand or a boom arm. Just the most recent update in, the adventures of Mrs. Soap and Clay not knowing how to do stuff. But that's fun. It's great. I can also hear myself somehow. I don't know why I can hear myself, but something over there it's me. I can hear me. That, of course, has nothing whatsoever to do with today's winner of Project Soapway, but it might have something to do with why the quality of all this will suck. So if that's the case, I'm sorry about it in advance. But I will tell you who the winner of Project Soapway is for today in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And you are here for week 25 of year 3, and today, as I said, is a Project Soapway winner, and I'm super excited to announce this one. Now, for a Project Soapway recap, this particular challenge was the Splash Swirl that was inspired by Clover Soapworks' Rainbow Splash Swirl that I saw on the YouTubes and loved and was obsessed with. And so that was really the direction that I gave the Sudsers for all of that. Like, showed them Clover's video and told them that for my requirements, it needed to be effectively a 7-color bar, so 6 accents and 1 base, with a color palette that was like pleasing, right? And that was kind of all I did. I didn't really explain what a pleasing color palette is because I don't know those things, and I let them kind of roll with it. And all of the submissions were so gorgeous and so beautiful and so amazing, with a lot of different beautiful color palettes, so it was very fun for sure. And yesterday you got to see mine, and today is going to be the first winner of the Project Soapway challenges for the Splash Swirl, and that first winner is Lunar Soapery. Now, I really love this soap for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is because they are all natural colorants. So Lunar used a bunch of different types of clay in order to color her soap. And based on the thumbnail picture that you saw at the beginning of this video, it's kind of shocking, right? that clays can do such beautiful things. So we're going to be able to talk about natural colorants today, as well as highlighting, everything awesome about Lunar Bee and this very new soap business and all the awesome things that she's been doing. So let's head to her footage. We can talk about JK, Lunar Bee, and all of the awesome things that she has delivered to the Sudzer world, as well as to the world in general, because everything about her and her background has really led to this awesome soapy journey that I'm super excited to talk about. So let's go, do that. Okay, so in a rare turn of events, I have all kinds of information about this soap. Not because none of the Sudzers ever, they failed to give me that information. They always do. But this time, I took notes. And one of the reasons I decided to take notes is because, I wanted to do a good job, But two, because JKB of Lunar Bee Soapery actually is really great at the whole talking and being conversational while making the soap thing in ways that I could never. I do a voiceover for a reason. You know what I mean? And that reason really is me talking while I'm making soap and being super instructional and whatever. It's kind of a hard thing for me. Mostly because I'm listening to really loud music all of the time. And so you wouldn't be able to hear me anyway. But also because I squirrel. Point is, I had a lot of great information from her, and it almost sounded like she was getting ready to prep for her own videos, which, if that is the case, I am very pleased, and I think that she should totally do that. Because she was a pro at this, for sure. It was 60 minutes in total, this footage. 60 minutes. And she was able to chat and provide really great information throughout the entire thing. And so I almost felt like I needed to take notes, I guess is the point. To those notes, all of this info is coming up on the screen, and I'm not really talking about anything. So let's do that. So Lunar Bee Soapery is doing the Splash Swirl challenge. So it's 7 colors, 6 accents, and 1 base, right? With all natural colorants, because she is using clays. And so she is using, with all of this, an orange eyelight clay, a purple Brazilian, a French yellow, a Moroccan red, a French green, and a French pink. So those are all of her, accent colors. Now, for the scent, she is using Rose Quartz by Brambleberry, and I have smelled that, and it is so delightful. Such a good scent. I wish Brambleberry would have more realistic prices, and I would buy from them more often. For sure. Now, the water for this is actually interesting. So she added sodium lactate to the batch, as well as Tussa silk. And she really incorporates her business into her soap making in really fun names. So her business name, again, is Lunar Bee Soapery, right? Well, the lunar part came from her being able to soap at night, because she has one of those, day job things. And this is a new soap business. And also because all of the water that she uses for all of her lye solutions are they're enhanced, using full moon water. You know how you charge crystals and stuff by the moon? She does that with her water, which I think is so cool. I really love that. And so that's a really clever way to, incorporate the lunar into her soap business. I thought that was absolutely delightful. And, it's a fun thing. It's definitely something cute to put on your website. Oh yeah, we use full moon water. That's super awesome. Okay, and on to the pour of this. Now, as I said, these are natural colorants because she's using just a whole bunch of clays. And as you saw from the thumbnail, it's just proof positive that you can do some really beautiful things with clay for your colors. But in general, Lunar Bee Soapery really doesn't like super bright colors. She described a bar of soap that she had made at one point as a Lisa Frank, type thing. It was just too bright for her. And so she actually prefers the more muted colors. that you would get from a clay, from any clays, which I think is really great. And she does a lot of, oil infusions and whatnot to help with her coloring stuff. And I love that. Of course, she uses micas too. She's experimenting with all kinds of stuff. She's actually, as I said, a new soaper. She started making soap in January of this year. And this is her 40th batch. Her 40th batch. Now let that go ahead and sink in for you, right? How does she know that it's her 40th batch? She knows because she's keeping very excellent records. And I find that very beautiful and a very smart thing to do, obviously. But, there are a lot of soap makers who just do not keep very good records, and we really should be for all of our batch codes and everything. We should have a good eye on all of this. And that shows that she super does. And so I love that for sure. Now, she's actually approaching the Splash Swirl different than I did because, again, I just watched Clover Soapworks' video and they kind of just layered them all right next to each other. You know what I mean? And she is doing a different approach in that she is putting all of the colors one on top of the other. And then she's going to take her hanger to the entire thing. So as a result, all of her layers have to be really carefully put in so it doesn't drop or whatever. Well, I don't know that they have to be. But just looking at this footage in totality, again, it was an hour long for the pour. You can tell that she's just the type of person that's very meticulous. And she wanted to make sure that every single one of these layers were perfect. Now, this is her third attempt at the Splash Swirl. Not because she didn't like her first. She actually really liked her first quite a bit. And I think that was the one that she also used the clays for. She didn't like the video footage. And so she decided to try it again. I believe she switched it up and she used micas for her second attempt. Didn't like those as much. Went back to the clays. And she had, all of her lightings and her angles and everything for the video dialed in. And liked this one a lot. So this was the winner. And that's what she submitted. And I find that to be, just very cool across the board because like I said yesterday, I really enjoyed making this, soap. I enjoyed the Splash Swirl Challenge a whole bunch. And so I'm glad that other people, well, she may not have enjoyed it, she did it a whole bunch. I do know that she enjoyed it though, because she said so. So I'm glad that she had fun with all of this, and I'm glad that we got to see her process, because there is actually something pretty cathartic about watching her put all of these lines in so carefully and perfectly. It's very cool. Now, with this video quality thing, at the end of all of this, she did say that she had filmed so many soaps by that point that she felt weird not making soap without the camera rolling. And I understand that completely. You kind of get yourself in the habit when you're filming and you're cognizant of the fact that there's a camera right there, that you're trying to keep yourself out of the shot, your head out of the shot, and you're making your arms longer than they really realistically are. And there's a lot of flying blind because you can't see directly into the soap mold because of the aforementioned, you want to keep your head out of the shot. And so I find myself doing that when I'm not filming soaps, and the soap apprentices, have to correct me multiple times a week. It's just a funny thing at this point. They just look over and they're like, "Are you recording?" And I remember that I'm not. And then I, put my face closer to the thing so I can see what's going on in the mold. But point is, I really do think that she might be prepping to do some videos of her own. So I love that. Now, as you probably gathered based on her photography for, the soap that I put in the thumbnail, as well as just her good eye with colors in general with all of this, and her precision and the way that she's very carefully laying everything down. She went to art school. She is an artist. So that's what she got her education in, and I assume that that's what she's working in. If she said in the video, I missed it. But she does this. Again, she started her business in January of this year and started doing the soapy things. And the art really shines through with her soaps. And I guess coming to a cold process place with her sort of evolved, I'm going to assume, because of the artistry. Now, she said that she started out as a melt and pour soaper and really liked that and thought there was a lot of really cool things that she was able to add to the melt and pour bases, and that's great. But when someone in her life actually had a coconut oil allergy, she started looking at all of the melt and pour bases and saw that, well, a lot of them have coconut oil. It's very difficult to find one that doesn't. And so she started looking at other ways to, do the soap. Came upon cold process, felt a little bit intimidating, but ultimately she decided that, again, there's more artistic expression here. There's more ways for you to completely customize the soaps and make them your own, whether you are, unless you're making your melt and pour bases from scratch, which she did point out. But unless you were doing that, there's a lot more ways to customize with your oils and your butters and your colors and really showing off your artistic chops, because melt and pour, while it is a great field for, soap makers or whatever, and a great artistic medium, it can be hard to do a lot of these pours. And in fact, a lot of them are quite impossible. And I've tried to hack, different things within melt and pour a number of times over the years, and it's complicated. And so those who can do like a really good swirl in a melt and pour, for example, those are masters at the melt and pour craft for sure. The cold process craft, again, it allows a lot more freedom with your artistic expression. So I think that that's very cool that she's currently doing this. And I am over here looking at her Etsy shop, and yeah, as I said, the artistry, it's stunning. Her photography is just visually on point, and it's a very pretty thing. Webman will not let me do black backgrounds or dark colored backgrounds with any of my soaps. He thinks that it's too hard to make them all pop. And so I think I'm going to show him this and be like, really? Is that accurate? Because look, this is absolutely gorgeous. I know you can't look because I didn't put in a thing of what I'm looking at, but hold on, I can do that. There you go. See? Stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the lighting on it. I love the background, all the things. And it looks great with all the different soaps that she has on her website. So I don't know. I don't know if Webman's right on this one. But I really, again, I enjoy the artistry with all of this. I enjoy the different selections she has. I mean, we can see that she has a ghost feather on her website. So I wonder if she did that, when we were doing the Ghost Swirl Challenge. I don't think she submitted for that one, though. She's got a beautiful dirty chai latte, which is a hot process. And just some really just stunning soaps on here. Even the ones that are just very simple and, no color and unscented, very visually appealing, smooth, gorgeous colors for sure. She also has crystals, which I have my eye on for sure. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy one of these because amethyst is my bag. I don't know. Somebody told me that was like a healing stone for me at some point. I don't know why. It was like a grounding stone or something. I wasn't really paying attention when I was told that, but yeah, I like to just go ahead and claim that as my stone anyway because it's purple and I love purple. But there's probably a reason it was told to me. You know what I mean? And I leave that information to the experts, and when they tell me things, I believe them because, this is a whole thing with the stones and the, holistic stuff and the charging of the crystals and the water and the stuff by a full moon. It's a whole thing. It's very fascinating. I really like people that get into that sort of thing, especially when they tell me interesting information about it that I can retain. But I don't know. I was told about the amethyst thing when I was like 10, and I literally did not go past that. I just went, okay, cool. Yeah, amethyst. It's purple. Done. Mine. Yeah. Now, for this, again, because she's such a new soaper, she has a very limited reach right now on, Facebook and Instagram and all the things. So definitely, obviously, make sure to go and follow all of the socials. Give her Etsy shop, a like and a follow and all of the things as well. And check out everything that she has going on there. And yeah, those are the titles. They're new for this time. I am learning a different editing software right now, other than the one that this video is edited in. And as a result, I am paying attention to a whole bunch of different things in this editing software that I've been using for like 3 years and going, oh, that's what that means. That's what that does. And so it's making me want to do things better. I don't know. It's very strange, but ultimately I think I am going to abandon this software, this Final Cut Pro stuff, and move over to DaVinci for all of my edits because I'm enjoying that quite a bit. But with this particular soap, I am loving that it's going, like you can see the side there, all of these layers have gone in so gorgeous. And you can see that because this batter is so thin, you see the pointy layers with each layer of color as well. So she's doing like a little pointy layer technique, which would be cool in and of itself. But of course, she's going to take a hanger to it and do the splash swirl because, you know, that's the thing. And so it looks like she will be going all the way down and up and then just barely moving it. And then, yep, back down again. I'm interested in seeing how many passes she ultimately does with this. Now, speaking of the fluid batter, I was very, very impressed by how long her batter stayed super fluid, especially with all of these clays. So she must have a beautiful recipe, and obviously the sodium lactate is going to help out with the longevity of the, you know, fluidity of the batter. So that's cool. It'll also help out with bar hardening, you know, further on. Very, very cool. But I don't know that my soap batter ever stays that fluid that long. And while I'm saying I don't know, it's because I don't know the last time it's ever actually taken me an hour to make a soap. And I always feel so bad when I get this footage from the Sudsers of, you know, rather long videos. And I'm like, well, I have to figure out a way to kind of cut this down into, you know, around 25 minutes or so just to be a thing for the channel. And I feel bad about it because obviously it's kind of stressful to edit for other people's stuff. And you may have wanted something in that I forgot to do or, you know, whatever. But the point with that is I am always very surprised at the fluidity of some of the batters and how long it just stays ready to go while you guys are all lovingly, you know, mixing it and making sure your colors are all great. It's delightful. And also, I really enjoy that too. Just seeing that you're not taking all of the time. Like Rissa, for example, like she does soaps that take multiple days. You know what I mean? And so she's taking all of the time. So I was misspeaking earlier, seeing that you're not rushing the process. This is something that is clearly enjoyed when I see the Sudser footage. You enjoy making these soaps. You're doing it for the love of the craft. Like, look at that. Look at... Man, that's so awesome. I need to learn how to slow down, you know? Stop being in such a hurry for everything, because that's just delightful to watch. But I don't know if this is going to be C-popped or gelled, but we are definitely going to check out the cut, you know, right now and see the winning soap. Okay, and on to the cut of this, and I mean, if it wasn't C-popped, it's, I don't know, it's shiny and gorgeous, and so I'm going to go with C-popped, but, you know, she'll let us know in the comments whether or not it was, but it looks absolutely stunning. We have no soda ash going on. All of those colors showed up so beautifully, and I thought this was a cute little thing that she does too. So every, like the extra bit of soap that she has left over at the end of a batch, right? She puts into these little bee molds, and so she'll send those off as little samples with her order, which is a great idea. Samples are a great idea in general. Oh my God, look how pretty that is. You know, I was saying yesterday how I was so proud of myself and how I loved this, and I made 4 different types of it because I just loved it so hard. And she does just this. The Sudsers showed me up again. I promised to bring my A game for this project Soapway and not dial it in. And I did that, you know, but your A game is better than. So well done. It's just, it's so nice seeing just, oh gosh, how creative and talented you guys all are. And just even like the way that she layered the colors in that, it's perfect, right? So you have, you know, the gray kind of in between, like one of the yellows or the grays sort of in between some darker colors to really add some contrast. Yeah. So we kind of went light, dark, light, dark, light, dark to provide that contrast. That's the artistic eye right there. Yeah. And the soap itself, look how smooth and awesome it is. Now, she did say that she loves glycerin rivers. She's a sucker for glycerin rivers. And I'm like, same. So we are, you know, people for sure. But this is nary a sign of glycerin rivers. There's no texture to that. It is smooth and gorgeous and perfect. And I absolutely am just blown away that you know, she did this all with natural colors and clays. And again, fluidity of the thing and the gorgeous freaking splash swirls. And well done, Lunar Bee Soapery. I am impressed. And there it is, Lunar Bee Soapery and their winning bar for the Project Soapway Splash Swirl Challenge. And it is absolutely stunning. The colors that she was able to achieve with natural colorants, with clays, is really, really impressive. And she did mention in her footage that she really loves glycerin rivers, but for this particular design, I'm very glad that no glycerin rivers came through, because I think added texture within all of this might have changed the overall, like, just total composition of this. You know what I mean? Absolutely gorgeous job. I really enjoyed watching her meticulously put down all of these layers of color one on top of the other. This is not how Clover did their soap. It's not how I did my soap, but it does show that there are multiple ways to achieve the same effect. And to be perfectly honest, this bar, way better than mine. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I will definitely be thinking about this technique when I do, you know, splash swirls in the future, for sure. I love Lunar Bee. They are a very, very new company, and they have all this beautiful artistry and thought behind not only their name, but the overall design and concept of their business. And I think that they've done such an excellent job with creating this overall vision. I did, however, today get a DM from Lunar Bee telling me that they had, unfortunately, a hacking issue. It was very sad. It was very terrible, all of the things, and that she's scrambling to get that all taken care of. So at time of recording, those things might not be corrected, but all of the links and everything will be provided below for just in case. Like, obviously they've been on the screen multiple times, but in the description as well as the pinned comment, definitely make sure to go show her all of the love for multiple reasons. One, because she's a very talented soap maker, and, you know, us helping boost her in all of the algorithms for the socials to help get her business out there and trending so she can reach her audience is obviously a good thing. But two, she put so much work into creating all these business pages and socials, and it just is very disheartening at the end of all that work to have, you know, bad people come in and hack your stuff, you know? So go support her through that as well. Also, and if she has her website, her Etsy back up, and the crystals are there, the amethysts, go buy one of those, because I will be buying one of those for sure. Thank you so much, Lunar Bee, for submitting. Thank you to all of the Sudsers for submitting to the Project Soapway Challenge. You guys are awesome. I love watching all of your creative processes and like how you approach different designs and techniques and recipes and whatnot. And this was definitely a fun one. You are a very talented soap maker. I have loved the input and the participation that you have had within the Discord, you know, on the server and everything. You're just such a wonderful new addition to the Sudser family. And so while you may be new, you're definitely loved amongst us all. So thank you. I am out of here for today. I need to go see how this audio ended up working out and if I need to re-record. And the hope is I do not. So you keep those fingers crossed for me. Thank you to the Sudsers. You guys are amazing. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We have the next up in the Project Soapway Challenge is a very interesting one in that she did this 4 times and submitted 4 bars. And so I decided to take a different sort of tack with her video as a result. And so, you know, if you want to be notified of that, subscribe or like or, you know, whatever. You guys know the drill. You know what it takes to help people succeed in this YouTube algorithm thing. So thank you for contributing and doing that. I am out of here, but I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of Project Soapway Soapy Fun. Bye. How can I be like too small and too big for a chair at the same time? This is a really weirdly shaped chair. Why is it so short? Where did this chair even come from?